Hello everyone, welcome back to the another NUKE tutorial. As you saw, that was the shot we just recreated in a 1 week. This is very interesting to see how we using the Blender plus NUKE to get that final look. And in this video, I'm going to break down the whole script, the whole process inside NUKE, how I get that look and how I integrate the character and everything I'm going to explain you. And obviously you can get the project file on my Patreon, and we are also planning to share the free asset of this project, so you can build your own comp and you can try to achieve the similar look. So without wasting any time, let's jump into NUKE and see the whole process inside NUKE, how we recreated this Blade Runner shot. So before jumping into NUKE, I just want to show you this graph which I made to show you the process, how I did the whole look day process and how I planned the shot to achieve that Blade Runner look. So let me just quickly show you the one by one steps. So first of all, you can see we need to do some reference study. So in the reference study, let's open this one and see one by one. So obviously we need to download that clip. So here is that Blade Runner shot. Let me just play and you can see that. So this is the shot, and in this shot there are a lot of elements going on. So I will talk about this when we see the NUKE part. For now, this is the reference. Then let's close this one. Then we have this first frame and last frame. So what I did, I just save these two frames. I can get the idea how my shot will look in my first frame and in the last frame, how the environment is changing and how the character is changing. You can see in the first frame character is much more close and much more deeper, but when it's going little far away, you can see it's much smaller, and you can see it's not that much deeper. It's a little bit lifted because this character is going inside the haze, and you can see the ground in the last frame compared to the first frame. So that was the idea. Just want to show you that. I also want to see the behind the scene of this shot. So I searched in the YouTube and I found this official video where they shoot this shot practically. So you can see this reference is pretty good. It tells where the light is and how they shoot this shot. I can see most of the things they shoot practically, just like this haze is going on this direction. You can see pretty good haze, and this light we're not able to see here because they removed this light. And similarly in this side also you can see that this is like continuation shot. We have similar kind of haze, this big light and our character. But the most important thing is this ground. You can see the ground element. All these ground textures are real in real set. Only thing I believe they added those effects thing that flowing on the ground. So that part is CG, and obviously they remove this light and everything, make this shot seamlessly. You can see this shot is going properly in a depth, and we not see anything here. So that is the pretty good way to see the BTS, and you can get a lot of information about the shot, how they shoot, and how you can achieve this look. So that was the BTS, and let's close this one and let's close this frame. So what we learned, so there are some key points. So the first thing is to get this yellow and orange CC look as I show you. So if I open this frame here, you can see this this entire look. That look we need to achieve. So that we need to achieve everywhere we see this color grading. So that is the first key point. So the second thing is the depth haze. So we have this nice depth haze going on in the distance, and the character also going inside the depth. So that is the another point. The third thing is the ground detail. As I told you earlier, there are a lot of ground details we can see here and there, and the very small ground detail as well. This part and this part, there are a lot of things going on in the ground. So we need to achieve that one as well. Then we have this FX. So that FX flow I will show you in the NUKE, because we need to play this shot, then only we can see. I can roughly tell you what is that effect thing is. So this patch you can see, and this patch you can see here, and these patches are flowing from left to right, and it's looking pretty good when you see that in the plate. I will show you in the comp. Then we have this character. Obviously this character we need to add. So that is the plate character. Initially I was thinking to make this entire shot a CG shot. Then I thought let's keep the environment. So then I thought let's keep the whole environment CG, but the character will be the plate character. The character in my shot, it's a real plate character. So that's the idea. Then we have this horizon depth. So similarly this horizon depth is pretty good. I mean the way this is blending is pretty nicely in the shot. you can see in this first frame as well, is pretty good. It's like pretty seamless. So we need to achieve that. So these are the key points. So goal to achieve, try to achieve everything. So we will try to achieve everything as possible. That is the main task in this shot. Then what I did some initial study inside NUKE. This is the part I did some initial study, because let me just open this. Let's close this. So these are the frames, right? So what I am trying to do, initially I was thinking to achieve this ground and the haze and everything in NUKE without going into actual 3D. You can see initially I was just grabbing some textures and placing my camera and try to achieve this look. You can see just plugging the albedo texture, placing my camera roughly the same angle and try to achieve that. Then I did another test with the ray render. In this side we have a ray render here and some lights and some mega scan textures. So all these are mega scan textures. Then I'm rendering through the camera and some basic light, and you can have this kind of look. But then I quickly realized this is not a very good way to get this kind of ground render. So then I asked one of my friends to do that. That is the next part. So then finally we are doing in a 3D. So if I open this 3D scene, so he did everything in Blender. So the ground detail and ground texture, everything done in Blender. So let me just quickly show you the Blender part. So if I open this one, so this is the initial layout. So initially I did a match move camera in NUKE, and then I give him this camera, and he made this ground based on that reference. So obviously our reference is this. So he used this frame, I think first and last. I think he used the first frame. Then I roughly align everything. He made this nice ground. You can see the ground detail and the rocks. The rocks look like a floating because this is just the initial test. So then he built this complex material in Blender to add those displacement, add those blend materials and everything. You can see it's pretty good, and it's pretty organized as well, and that is very good way to keeping your work organized and well structured. Then as I said, and he also made a custom material blend mask. So that is the mask, and we are using this mask to blend two materials, I guess 2 or 3 materials, I'm not sure how many materials, but we are using this mask. And custom mask for rock displacement. You can see the rocks we are placing here, but we need this platform we needed. For this it's coming from the what we call displacement. So for that he paint those area to add that displacement. Then once we did everything, material blending and basic lighting. So for the lighting we just did overcast lighting, and if I show you the preview, so that was the preview, and you can see the rock, and this is the displacement and the material blending with this mask. With this normal lighting, and he added this character. The scale is off, because if I show you the this character, you can see it's pretty big compared to this area, but we are not that much worried about the scale because it's almost perfect. It's just a little too big. Then I told him give me these many render passes. So let's quickly see the render passes. So the first is like a diffuse direct, diffuse indirect, and diffuse color, glossy direct, glossy indirect, and glossy color, AO, and mask. So I will show you what is this mask is, and in this side, and this is like a main RGB pass. Then we have this data passes. So in this one we have the depth and this AA, this also a depth, position, a normal, UV pass, and these are the cryptomats. So these are all cryptomats here. So we use all these passes in NUKE to composite that shot. That is the idea, guys. So all these passes. Then this is the 3D, and then we render this one. When we get this passes, then I render. The 3D scene is done. Now we come to the comp side. In the comp, these are the two things going on: the main comp and the character. So first, let's see the comp. So in the comp, what was my initial process? So if I open this, let's jump to the top. I did the camera track, so that is the camera track here. As you can see, it's pretty rough. It's very roughly. I did the camera track to get the look, and I place the card and see the ground plane. So once it's met, then I pass that camera to 3D artist. Then I compare my ground with this one, just a raw render with the reference. And you can see we are very far away in terms of the look and terms of the depth and everything. So in this side, what I'm doing, I'm just making a slab comp, and I'm matching this to this. In this side, you can see the grades are off, and if I on the grades, you can see this is the look we are getting. And In this one we are adding a haze, and in this is a mine, and this is a blade runner. This is a very quick slap comp to get this look, and that was the process. First matching this look overall, then once I did, then I use this setup to build my full comp. Okay, so that was the initial process, and let's open the comp. So this is the comp setup. So let me so here you can clearly see what I'm going to show you, and you can see in the initial we have this kind of script, but at the end you can see the script is getting very big and complex. So, and you can see initially we have this ground here. There is no character, and you can see the ground is not that much detail compared to here. We have this whole scene is matching and with the character, and you can see the nice detail in the ground. This is like a before and after the comp structure. So this is the same thing here, you can see, and this is now with the final. Okay, after this, the character, I just want to show you what is this character. Is the real plate character. How I did this. So this is the plate character, we showed this one, and this is the NUKE script for the character. So here we have this character coming from here, and then we did the pre-comp, then we did the match move, and in this side some ground detail coming from this side, and they are merging here. You can see this is a pre-mult with the color match, and then we are adding here in the script. The character side is here. At the end I'm adding the character. All these things are just effects and a lot of comp experiment going on to get the look. Then at the end we are adding some lens effects and grain, that's it. So that was the process. Now I think it's time to jump into NUKE and see the whole NUKE script step by step. So let's jump into NUKE and continue this Blade Runner breakdown / look development process. Here is the script, guys. So this is the full script of the shot, and there are a lot of things going on in this script. So I will try my best to explain you every step because there are many things going on. So it will take time, so give me some time. I will try my best to explain you the process, what I did and how I try to get this look. So it's very long script, so let's start from the top. So what we have in the top, obviously we have this bin area. Here we have all the assets. Let's make the full screen like this, and let's zoom in. Let's select this, press F to zoom in. First of all, you can see I have this Atmos, the plate, the slap comp, the camera, the ground plane, the unwrap view, and the textures. So let's first see the plate. So in the plate we have this CG, we have the character plate, and we have this reference. Obviously we need a reference, and the match move camera, and there is a slap comp. In this slap comp I was trying to get that look. Let me just show you. So this is the original, this is the CG render. So the idea was, I told my friend, so he was a Blender artist, told him to give me or overcast lighting render. So he tried to achieve all the texture detail and everything in the ground, and I mean this is a very good render. It's like a very good base render. On top we going to add all those elements, haze and all the ground interaction, everything we're going to add in the comp. So that was my process to add those things in a comp, because in the comp we have more control over how we can manipulate things instead of doing everything in CG. So that was the idea. I told him to give me this kind of flat render, but all these nice texture detail. You can see there are so many good texture detail. You can see there are a lot of material is blending. It's not just one material, there are a lot of things going on in this one. So the big shout out to my friend who made this. Check the video description. Whoever working on this project, I put it all the links there, so make sure go and follow them. So we have this beauty render and we have the data passes. So in the data passes we have all the crypto math, depth path, normal position, and everything. And in this side we have this plate. From this plate only taking this character, and we have a roto as well. This is a log, so that's why it's looking like this, but in the comp I will show you the proper way to convert this log footage. Then we have this match move camera. This is just for the ground, and we have few textures here which I use. Textures is from Megascan. So if you have Megascan account, you can grab those free textures there. It's free, so I use those texture in the comp. I will show you where I use this one. It's pretty good way to improve this render. This is a very good render, but we need to match with that Blade Runner shot, right? This shot. So I was trying to matching this part. So my process is like, if I just show you, so the first thing what I did, I make this slab comp. In this slab comp I was trying to achieve this hazy look. One of my friends told me it's very hard to achieve in the comp because it's a full color grade shot and all those things he was talking about, but I told him it is possible in NUKE. We can try to, because we have full reference, we can grab a color sample and we can do many things. So that was the initial idea. What I did was I take a constant and just reformat it, because that time I was just experimenting, so I didn't set the project settings. That's why the reformat is there, and there are a lot of roto going on. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just changing the color like this using the depth pass, because we have this depth pass. So I was trying to get that hazy look. That was my final depth pass. And if I disable all these grades, you will see this is just the depth pass with the constant. Alright, before using the depth pass, I was doing this many grades to get that look. In the edges we have this orange look, and in the center we have this yellowish look. Then we have this beauty, and what I'm doing here, I'm just directly doing a grading to match with this reference look. Okay, see, this is just a normal grading. I'm just sampling the color. You can see I'm just sampling the white point from the reference and just adding it, and then more grading, and we have this mask. So in the beauty, you can see we have these stripes. I hope you can see this one. You can see this stripe. So we have a custom mask for that. So we can use that mask to do some more grading. You can see, if I show you, this is the beauty render, and this is this. So this much grading I did. So obviously this grading is based on my haze. So if I do on top, you can see it will look like this. And if I compare with the contact sheet with the reference, so this is my first attempt matching with the reference, and you can see it's pretty close, but I want to make it more close to the reference in terms of the haze blending. You can see the haze blending is not that much good. You can see here, and the haze color as well is not that much accurate, but we're going to make it more accurate in the main comp. So that was just slab comp, and just first pass I was checking. I was just testing the first pass. So once I get the look set, and once I get the confidence that yeah, we can achieve this look in comp with this render, and with a lot of with the help of the comp, we can get this look. Then I build my comp structure. So I forgot to tell you one thing, this whole process from start to end, I recorded the whole process, and that is available on my Patreon. So you need to get the access to watch that entire process from start to end. So it's a full step-by-step process, how I comp this shot, and how I make this big script, and how I get this final look. So if I compare with this, I have this contact sheet here. If I compare with this, so this is just upside down, and this is this. Let me just show you the side-by-side view. So you can see this side and this side as well. So this is the final look, guys. So in that video you will see all the experiment, all the process, all the trial and error, how I make this shot compared to the reference. Go here. So make sure you check my Patreon. In there you will get the access. So the script is very simple. We have this B pipe, and for the B pipe I'm using this constant. All the elements is merging from the left side. First thing first, obviously we have this beauty layer, the CG render. So we need to do CG rebuild. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just building a CG rebuild. It's very simple. So in this main pipe, there is nothing going on. It's just a remove node, and I'm shuffling all my passes here. So like this is a diffuse color, this is diffuse direct, this is diffuse indirect, and this is the this is indirect here, and this is the diffuse color here. So what I'm doing here, I'm just doing a divide multiply method. So if you don't know what I'm doing here, so I have a dedicated video. In that one I explain how you can combine beauty layers and how many combination type you can do in that one. So this is so that is what I'm doing here. So for now, tell you what I'm doing here. So this is the diffuse color we have, and this is the diffuse direct, and this is expression node, guys. So in this one I'm doing this expression. In here I'm just selecting the diffuse color, and here we have this diffuse color as well, and here we have this diffuse indirect. So because this is if I show you, this is, so in this expression what I'm doing here, we have the diffuse indirect and we have the diffuse color. So I'm just dividing diffuse color and versus diffuse indirect, we getting this, and then I'm doing a multiply on diffuse color. So that way I'm separating the light and the color. So when we do multiply, we get a diffuse indirect with the combination of light and the color. The idea is you can add a grade here, and you can just control the color information, and in this side you can just control the light information. So that was the idea. So I explained this one in many times in my video, so make sure you go and watch. So that was the whole process, here and here, everywhere. This is diffuse indirect, and this is get, and it's get plus on the diffuse direct. So this is the diffuse direct pass here, and it will get plus, and the whole thing get multiply on the diffuse color. So the same structure is here. So here we also have this glossy color, and we have this glossy direct, and we have this again glossy color, because I'm doing a divide method here, divide and multiply. So this is our glossy map, and at the end we are doing a plus. Then we have this two expression. So this expression is just removing the nan pixel, whatever, if you are facing any nan issues. So this is just an expression, and then we are copying the original alpha, and then here we have this global CC. But before going there, you can see here I did a lot of CC corrections here. So all this correction, you can see it's very subtle, because the whole process, the look I already achieved in this slab comp with the overall grades here with this haze setup. So what I'm doing it, I'm just copy pasting all these grades and adding additional grade to match it more closer. So in the top, I'm just changing a little bit of color and everything. I'm not doing a lot of shader changes. So you can see very less shader changes here. So the most of the stuff is going on in this global CC. So if I just show you at the end, so you can see it's very similar looking as we have this slab comp. You can see, so this is a slab comp and this is this. You can see a lot of changes here, and at the end it will look good. After this we have this pre-mult, then we have this haze setup, as we have the haze setup in this slab comp. So the similar haze setup we have in this side as well. So after this one, we have the similar haze setup and adding more what you call the grades to match the color. And then we have this data. So here we have this depth pass. I'm using this depth pass to mask out this one. So we get this, and then we just overing this one. You don't need to do the plus, we just need to do over. So based on this haze, I'm doing this CC correction. For example, if I just disable this thing, you can see this get little bit bright. So based on this haze, I'm just balancing the shot. After that, what I did, so once I get my base color and everything, then I pre-comp this one. Now you can see this pre-comp and this is exactly matching. Once I did the pre-comp, I'm not worrying about all these things. Now I'm just focusing on adding additional detail on the ground. So that was the main challenge. Now we have this first backdrop called the ground rock texture, and let me just see that, and let's view this one here. And in this one, you can see we are adding this ground detail. So if I go to the first frame, you can see in this side we are adding this ground texture. At the end it will look good, but let's see the pre-comp. So this is the pre-comp, and in this one you can see we have many layers, and as I show, if I select this one, you can see all these textures on the top, they are coming from here. So as I told you, I'm using the mega scan texture, so that's the texture I'm using here multiple times. Let me show you how I'm using this one, because we need to use it properly based on the math. So what I'm doing it just like in the 3D software, how we are building a material, adding a texture and everything. So the similar thing we have to do it here. So we have this base color, then we have this AO, so I'm just multiplying this one. So we get this kind of look. So we are adding a shadow using this AO pass. So I'm just crushing this one, so I can just multiply, so it will look like this. Then I'm multiplying the bump. It's just darkening this one. You don't have to do this, because the use case of bump is different, but I'm just using this one as a multiplier. And then I'm using this cavity. This one also I'm doing multiply. It will adding more detail. If I just on this one, I think you're not gonna see that much, but you can see it's adding a more detail, especially in this side. If you see, you can see it's adding a more detail. So this cavity, so this is the cavity map. After this, so I'm adding this many passes. So now if you see, instead of this just a base color, this is just a flat. Now we have a little bit of shading. So we have a little bit of shading, and we have a little bit of shadow and everything. So that is pretty good. And make sure all your textures, you have to set sRGB color out. By default, this color will set linear. If you are using SS, it will set to linear. By default, it will set to linear. Make sure you set to output sRGB, because that is the correct color space for those textures. After this, I have this expression, and in this one I think I'm doing just I'm just making white alpha, just plus, and then we have the transform. So I think this transform is not doing anything, but it's I think previously I was changing with the transform, that's why it's there, but that's not the point. I'm adding this card layer here, and this texture is applying on the card. Alright, like this. Then we have this displace geo. So what I'm doing, we have this displacement map as well. If you download this from the Megascan, you getting all the textures with the displacement, normal and everything. So I'm using this displacement to displace this geo. So if I view this geo now, it is displace. So I view this one. You can see the value is pretty low, but it is displacing a geo little bit. because I don't want too much, because I already experiment with this one. If you do a lot of if you increase the value, it will get display, but in the comp it will not going to look good. But I just want a little bit of displacement, you can see. So you can see the surface is up and down a little bit, so that is exactly what we need. And because when we doing this displacement, we are removing the normals, so we need to add the normal, otherwise whatever light we are adding, it will not going to affect. If I disable the normal, we're not going to see the scanline render output. We just need to add normal, otherwise we see the black. If I just on the normals, then we're going to see the ground texture. Now if I see, this is the look, and because we already have a match move camera, we can just plug the match move camera here. Now if I off this display geo, you will see the difference. So we just need this much of parallax. See, very subtle displacement, and that will work. Then as I said, normal is required, otherwise light is not gonna affect on the card, because of this displacement, which is killing the normal. So we need to add the normal. Just use this normal node and just set to build, and it will work. After this we have this crop, because the texture I'm only adding this area, so this is just optimization. I'm just animating the crop, you can see here in this side, so that's why it's just optimization. And then we are matching the color with the grades, you can see. And so the color we are matching, if I just off this everything and just keep this live just to show you the point. Now you can see, if I go to this frame, this is the texture we are adding, and this texture I think we are adding at the end. Yeah, so this is the first texture we are adding in this side. If I just on off this one, and then the similar approach, and then after this I'm using this data pass and this position pass to make a mask using this AP matte. And in this one I'm doing more mask. I just want to apply in this side and using this mask option in this side as well. And same thing I'm repeating in here. These are the different texture I'm just placing differently. So this is the first one, this is, you can see the second one on top, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. Then we have this part. So in this one I will explain what I'm doing here. I'm just adding a little bit of extra detail, nothing else. So the top we have this environment. So I'm doing a unwrap version just for the reference. I will tell you why. So first let's see how I did the unwrap. So I'm just removing this, I'm just mirroring, projecting this one on the card. So this is a ground card we have. So we are just projecting this one and applying the texture and just running in the UV space. And make sure you connect a square UV space, otherwise it will look like this. Connecting the reformat to 2K UV space. We have this remove node. So let's off this remove node and let's view the roto node. So in the roto node, if you can see, I have this open spline here. And if I check the alpha, need to disable this. Let's before disable, let's see. So using this one, I'm just drawing some lines. If I on this remove node, so you can see we have this alpha. In the UV space, I'm drawing this one, and then I'm adding some more noises and just distorting the shape little bit, and you can see how it will look. And then I'm just reapplying this one on my same geo with the apply material and rendering through the render camera. So that way I can get a proper perspective when I'm drawing this thing. And this thing I'm using here just to add more detail. Okay, the similar approach I'm doing here, same thing I'm doing in this side also. So we have this canvas, this is just a unwrap view. So here we can see the unwrap thing, and based on this we can just paint and do whatever the things is required. So in this side you can see I did this much of paint and adding this much of detail. You can see the texture detail I'm adding here. Alright, so because we have this texture here, okay, so we are adding this texture. I'm moving this texture on this side in a UV space, and this is the mask I have, and I'm using this mask to reveal this texture like this. You can see once I did that, I just turn on this one, so we only have this in a UV space. So this is my UV space texture. Now I'm just the same thing using apply material on the geo and rendering through scanline render. Now we have a proper perspective, and it will texture will look correct and everything will look correct, and when we play it will go with the flow. This is a very good way to you can see now we have a proper perspective as well. And then we have this ENV. What I'm doing here, I'm just adding a color. So for that I'm just using this ENV and just blurring this one, doing a multiply, then boosting this one so we can get the same color as we have in our environment. And then I'm just placing this one on top of these textures. Now if I show you the pre-comp, now you can see these things are here and these things are here. And then when we merge this thing here, now you can see, so these things are here. You can see these are the lines what we draw. It's very subtle, but it is adding the detail, and that is exactly what I want. In the whole script I'm adding a small detail. That's why this script is getting longer and longer. And That is how you should do, and that is how you should work. You don't need to add the detail in one place. I mean, you just need to break those layers and adding small detail in every backdrop, in every step by step. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. So this is the first step, adding this rock texture. You can see now. And then we have some ground particles. So why we are adding particles? Let's see the reference. So if I show you the reference, in the reference, you can see in the reference, I'm not sure, but you can see we have these black particle kind of things here. So I want to replicate that, you can see. So to do that, I have very simple particle setup here. So let me just view this one and just show you. So if I view this particle, if of this, you can see I'm adding these small particles. So how I'm doing this one, let's see. So same thing, we have this card here, and obviously here based on the camera where we have this card. I'm using this card as an emitter, and we have this particle, and you can see already we have few particles in this 3D space. So my particle is, I'm using this 1K reformat and 1 radial. So this is my particle. I'm just transforming in this shape because I want particle in this shape. Again doing a reformat and just blend matte. You need to add this blend matte whenever you are using your own particle, and make sure in the blend matte you need to set modulo, and then you can connect this one. Now you have nice particle. And the particle emitter, what I'm doing here, I'm just keyframing the emission rate because I just want 30 particles, and in the next frame it will be 0. So the particle will be static, and I think the life is 500 because I don't want to this particle disappear. And then I'm adding this particle curve. I will show you why I'm doing this. If I just open this one, and if I go to the condition tab, so in this one we have this in the region tab, we have this box. If you go to the region, by default I think it will select none. You need to select the box. So based on the box, I'm removing some particles. So it's like a fall off kind of thing. If I move this one, you can see we are just removing the particles. Why I'm using this particle curve? Because here, if you go to the particle curve, if I go to the size, I think in the size I do the particle size, and the particle size will reduce inside this region only. Outside you will not gonna see the particles reduction. You can see the particles are there in this area, but it's very small. So I'm using this one, and then I'm using scalar render to render out. Now we have these particles, and it's animated, you can see. So that is exactly what we need. Then I'm doing some grading and blurring, and doing the same thing using this data and AP matte to make a ramp, because I don't want particle on top of this platform. So I'm just stenciling this one. You can see before it was there and now it is not there. Now in this side we have this noise, and in this one we have a UV pass. So in this project I'm using UV pass a lot. I will tell you why, and it is very good way to achieve what I want to achieve in this shot, because there are one thing in this shot that is very tricky, that is required to do effects, but I did in the comp using this UV pass. But first let's see this one. So we have the UV pass. I'm just shuffling out with the UV pass, and with this noise texture I'm just using ST map to apply this one. Now we have this. Then I'm using this one to grading and doing a masking with this one, so it will not gonna go outside of the box. And just data pass. This is just I'm adding a small detail. Show you the pre-comp. You can see if I boost up, it is there. It is very small detail, and it is animating as well, you can see. So it will give you very nice animation. So on top it will look like this. You can see it is adding little bit of texture here. So as I said, we need to add small texture step by step. Now the next backdrop is we added a rock texture on the ground. Let's see the ground texture. So in the first tab, what we have this data pass, and let's first see the final what this is. So this is this. Alright, so this is I'm using to do the grading. So this is just a mask in the grade to add this more additional shadow, you can see. So how I'm doing this one, again I'm using the data passes. So we have this normal pass, then we have using this normal rotate. So this is available in the NUKE survival toolkit, so you can use this one and you can do the relighting. So that is exactly what I'm doing. And in this side again I'm using the UV pass and this roto to create this mask. You can obviously use AP matte and position pass to do that, but I just experimenting, so I use this one. Then I mask this one on this side and just grading this part to adding a more shadow. And in this side now we have this texture. Now we have this section. Now let's view this one. So you can see now we're adding more texture in this side. So the similar approach what I did there, but in this side I'm just using this base color. This is and I'm using my tool. So I'm using this data path again and using this position to UV. I'm generating a UV based on my position path, doing a ST map. You can see in this side, masking out where I want and just removing the extra from the top using the original alpha, right? Like this, just masking it. doing a similar approach, doing a similar thing here. Now we have this secondary texture here. Okay, just combining them together. Now we have two textures combined. You can see now on top of each other. Then doing a exposure up, doing the multiply, then grading it, doing a pre-comp. After pre-comp, then what I'm doing, I'm just multiplying with my blur environment. So, and then we are just overing this one, so we can add more texture, more details on the ground. Then in this side, I'm using this again data paths with the AP matte, creating this kind of matte and just removing everything. So now we have this alpha. I'm doing a grade here. So in the grade, I'm adding this because now it's looking flat. Now we have adding this kind of line because in the reference we have this. So if I just show you the reference, let's bring a reference here. So if I just type ref, I think it should come. Yeah, Blade Runner. So in this one, you can see we have these gaps here. So that is, I want to recreate here. See these gaps, so these bright gaps I want to recreate. So using this, I can recreate that. You can see we have one gap here, and then we have this dark texture here, It will create depth. It will create like there is this shadow, this is a bright area, so it will create depth. So that is exactly I want to do in this part. Now we have this right side and we have this left side. What is this? So let's quickly first see the reference. Let's watch the reference again. So in the reference, there is very cool effects going on, and you're not gonna notice when you see in the real-time playback. Once we do, yeah, I think you can see if you pay attention to the shot, but I just want to show you when we scrub this shot. So I think if I just play this one twice speed, like 60 fps, now you can see what I'm talking about. So in this shot, there is very cool thing going on. From screen left to screen right, there are some effects going on in the ground, and that is the thing I want to recreate. You can see in the ground, if I just load this one, you can see this thing is flowing in the ground. You can see this. All these things are going in the left to right, and that is I think this is the effects they added on top of this plate, but it's pretty cool. You can see this kind of revealing thing, and here you can see this because I'm playing in a 60 fps. That's why you can see this. If I do normal 24 fps, it's very hard to see this. You can still see, but it's very minimum animation. That's why it's very hard to see, but it is there. So I want to achieve that in the comp. So how I did, I use extensively the UV pass to do that. So the idea is you can use the UV pass and some noises like this, and I think this noise is animated. Yeah, see, it's animating very slow, but when we do the ST map here, it is moving. And then I'm just doing a masking. So what I'm doing here in this one, in the matte, I'm using this AP matte and create a matte, and this side. So now you can see we have this kind of texture, and it is animating from this side to this side. You can see the texture is changing. So then I'm using one shuffle to assign to only use one channel. So I'm storing this alpha information in a red channel only. So now we only have red and everything is removed. Similar thing, I'm doing a same kind of thing, and I'm adding one more channel green, one more channel blue, one more channel, this is alpha obviously. Then we are doing a pre-comp. Now if I play, now you can see getting the same look, red, green, blue, and in alpha. You can see it's flowing in this direction from left to right. But let's see when we using this how it will look. So I'm using this grade nodes here. I'm just shuffling out red into alpha because the grade node by default expecting alpha, so I'm providing alpha. So all these are just alpha now with the grade nodes. Now I can get that look. In this single frame you're not going to notice, but when we play this, then you're going to notice that, as I said, this is the right side. So that means this is the right side part. Similarly, I'm doing the same technique on this left side. So now if I view from here, if I play this pre-comp, now you can see it is from left to right, it is flowing, and it is very slow. Because I experiment a lot, when I increase speed too much, it will look weird. So it's better to keep it very slow speed, and it will look good when we use this one. So these are just a mask. When we view here, then it will look good. At the end, you can see. So let me just quickly show you the final output, then you're going to understand. So if I just do the 60 fps again on my shot, and let's play. Now let it load, then you're going to see that flow what I'm talking about. That is how I use this ST map. It's very good way, and you can see how it is flowing in the here and here. So that is exactly I want, because I'm playing 60 fps, that's why it's looking weird. When you do the 24 fps, then it will look very nice, and it look like it is flowing. You can see this one, this side, see it is flowing like this. So that is exactly I want to achieve using the UV path, and it looks like effects smoke going on, but technically it just grades with the noise. So these two backdrops are there, left, right, and I think I added one more in the middle. So this is the middle part. So I'll show you the pre-comp. So this is the middle, right? And similarly doing this, it's just the same thing. Then we have this ground atmos. So there are a few atmos layers that I added in the front. See this one. It's very subtle. It's just in the foreground, and then it will gone, and in this side as well. So very similar. What I'm doing, we have this one smoke, just masking it like this, reducing the speed, just adding a keyer node, and then we have this alpha, just grading the alpha like this. Then just doing some transformation, just unpremult, and just adding a color and just adding background color. So this is very cool technique. I think everyone know about this technique. So what I'm doing here, I'm just using this environment and just converting using this color space node to convert this linear to YCBR, adding the same color space here, changing to YCBCR, doing a dissolve operation here. So in the dissolve, I'm just checking the RGB and just adding green and blue and converting back and just pre-multing it. So that way I can copy the color only without changing the luminance. Then I'm doing a match move. Here I'm not doing any scalar render, I'm just doing a planar match move. So this node is from the NUKE Survival Toolkit. You can do the image plane. Similar thing, you can see the same thing. I'm just copy pasting. I'm just changing the element. When we merge everything, we have this smoke layer and just merging on top. We can see now these are the smoke layers. Now we have this overall grade. So this overall grades here, I'm doing more correction to matching more with the plate. Now you can see if I view from here to here, changing the color on the ground. So using this depth haze, inverting the depth haze, so we get this alpha, just grading the ground. I don't want to grade on top because I want to grade everything, because I added too much stuff in the ground, this overall grade. And using this haze again to do more grading on the haze. It's very subtle, some more haze, some more correction. Then we are adding this diffuse. Now before this diffuse, you can see it's looking pretty sharp. It's not looking that much good. We need that soft film look, the haze look. So if I use this, now you can see how it is blending everything, how it is looking very natural now using this diffusion node. So what I'm doing here, I'm just adding 100 size and 2.5 value. That's it. Then we have this character. At the end, I'm adding the character. So for the character, as I said, we have this plate. It's a log. So we need to use this OCIO color space. In this one, what I'm doing, I'm just saying that input is sRGB and my output is SSCG. That way we can get this, and we have this nice alpha. So we can just add this one, and we can do the stabilization because the plate have its own movement. We want to stabilize that. So what I did, I just stabilize with the 2D track. Then I transform according to my shot. Then I'm doing some grading to get that color look, you can see. And then I'm doing the pre-comp. After pre-comp, then I'm doing the match move because it's very heavy. Now it is matching animation and the placement and everything with our scene. Then in this side, I'm adding a little bit of texture to the ground where this character is going to stand. What I'm doing here, I'm using this one, using some noises to add these lines. Again, this color space technique to add a color, then stenciling this one and then masking it, and then image plane, and then just pre-comping. Then we are adding this multiplier to reduce the amount and just overing on the background, adding a shadow on the ground. After the shadow, then we are adding a character on top, so you can see that shadow. So the shadow, I'm using some rotos to add the shadow. So this one, and it is looking good. After this, we have some lens effect, small lens effect. So first is the softness, overall softness. You can see it's very nice. Then we are adding a little bit of chromatic aberration. This is me adding it. I didn't see chromatic in that shot because it's a MP4, but I just add a little bit of chromatic. Then we adding this vignette, and you can see I'm just isolating the vignette where I want, and in this case I want vignette on the ground only. Then we adding a little bit of lens distortion. It's just a normal lens distortion. I'm just changing the dominators, that's it. So we have this. Then at the end we are adding a grain. So this is just a Luma Picture advanced grain setup. So if I zoom in, now we have this film grain, adding a reformat, and this is the shot, guys. So that is, you can see 1:1 is matching. This is the contact sheets. If you want to see, so these are the different contact sheet view with the reference, and you can see it's pretty close. You can see from this is just a flip version, and this is the correct one. This is the shot, guys. So that is the shot we created in 1 week using the Blender and NUKE. So I hope you like this breakdown and this entire process, how I recreated this shot. So I was planning to do the more recreation like this, So we have a few plans in my mind. In my upcoming tutorials, you're going to see all those recreations, breakdown, these kind of things. For as of now, make sure to download this project file and also the free asset of this project, so you can create your own look. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you like this Nuke script breakdown, and let me know in the comment what do you think, and let me know also which shot you want me to recreate in the future. As always, we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
तू घुस गया था, सर्वर जो लगा करा था।